Dr. Gilbere, we have talked about in a number of these interviews the problems in the home with toxicity, outgassing, and all of these other things. Let's talk a little bit about the guy that works in there, the man, excuse me, that works in the factory that makes the wallboard, that makes the flooring, that paints. My son-in-law is a phenomenal, very well-known artist.
Yes, I know he is.
You ought to smell what that paint smells like. Tell us about the people that, what kind of hazard is, and what do you think the incidence is of the terrible diseases that come from that in those kind of industries?
It's very high, because just in my practice, and I've consulted with a little over 8,000 patients now in the last 11 years, and just in my practice, the ones that are painters, which is the ones that I can relate to the most right now on this topic, most of them are on antidepressants, medication for attention deficit disorder and hyperactivity, or some type of a personality disorder, meaning that they have grand mal seizures or petit mal seizures, and because of that, they have a lot of mood swings. They have a terrible time with memory. They have a terrible time with temper, a lot of anger. It isn't that they're angry, it's that they've killed brain cells. They're breathing this stuff. When I was a consultant on a project for my contractor there in North Idaho, the people had children that had a lot of allergies. And they were painting the outside of the house. And I walked up and said, "What are you doing? I gave you the spec sheet of what needed to go inside the house. You know, the correct type of pre-finished wood floors and the paint and the cabinets, etc., and the grouting, even to the grouting we use non-toxic. And yet they're painting the outside with an oil-based paint over cedar." And the woman of the house who had hired me said, "Oh, but that's the outside of the house." It doesn't matter. It's still toxic because it's going to still go into the house. But the guy that was the gentleman that was applying it has got tremendous skin conditions, is on antidepressants, and has gone through 4 marriages because of his temper. Wow. And you can see him, his pupils are dilated just like he was high on drugs. So I went up to him and I said, do you get a high from this? He says, "Oh yeah, all of us painters do."
I don't think that there's any question that the incidence of pancreatic cancer and the entrance of the problem with liver and maybe even kidneys is probably 10 to 100 times more prevalent.
And they're not wearing protective mechanisms. They're not wearing a protective mask. They don't want to be bothered.
Well, we need to get the word out.
Absolutely.
And thank you for helping.
You're welcome.